Hi, this is Anthony. Welcome back to my show. I always intend for my videos to be shorter than they end up being, but then I go off on a tangent about the intricate workings of budgeting for drinks and meals in nonprofit organization budgets or tangential things like that a lot of my viewers do seem to find interesting because bylaws and policy documents seem to be near the heart of the whole Aftermath Foundation incident with Aaron Smith-Levin. Setting aside all the controversy that's been entailed lately in these videos, I just wanted to show the current results of my poll concerning Aaron's video where he says that Mitch Brisker has a beef with him. So without further ado, here's the results. My question was, after watching the heated discussion between Aaron Smith-Levin and Mitch Brisker, how do you feel? And I gave four categories, which I think were four basic reactions that people kind of had based on the ones that I experienced during the course of the video. 64 people watched it after approximately 23 hours, and the first choice given was that it was too cringy. I was unable to finish watching the episode, which got 38% of the vote. And the next option was, I thought Mitch won or looked better, with 6% of the vote. The next option was, I thought Aaron won or looked better, with 17% of the vote. And lastly, in the end, I thought they came to an understanding and seemed okay, with 39% of the vote. But that's pretty close to it was too cringy. I was unable to finish watching it, with 38% of the vote. I don't know if I'm entirely surprised by the vote. I didn't vote, of course, but personally I think that the last one is the one that I would have picked. As I encourage voters, even though it was extremely difficult to watch and cringy, and I literally had to stop watching and go do something else and come back and turn it on and stop and turn it back on, and I did end up watching the whole thing in the end because I think that it's important for me to watch things if I'm going to be critiquing them. And especially in something like that, it can go cringy for a long time, and then there's some bombshell at the end that one didn't know about. And I think them talking back and forth and over each other, they came to an understanding where Mitch clarified what he meant by his unique perspective that he had garnered over many years working behind the scenes with David Miscavige. And Aaron, as he's wont to do a deep dive dissection of what somebody said based on perhaps imprecise phraseology, right, reacted to by Aaron jumping to conclusions before he's had a chance to really just calmly discuss the situation. So I understand a lot of people not watching the whole thing and just saying that it was cringy. I'm a little surprised that twice as many people, or actually more than twice as many people, thought that Aaron looked better than Mitch. Again, I think that in the end they both looked okay because they came to a better understanding with each other. But I'm not sure if the only two options were Mitch looked better or Aaron looked better. If those were the only two options, that I would agree that Aaron looked better. But I understand that a lot more Aaron supporters than non-Aaron supporters seem to be watching my videos. And again, while I think that Aaron made a series of choices and bad decisions, which rightfully caused him to be removed from the Aftermath Foundation, I still fully support his endeavors. I wish him well, and I hope that his new foundation is successful, and I still continue watching just about everything that he puts out. Along those lines, a few people have written to me recently concerning Aaron's deception. I think that when it comes to protecting family members, people sometimes tell little white lies. Did he give the indication to most viewers that he and his wife were in a normal married relationship? I think he did. Looking back, there's all kinds of clues here and there that one can see that points to that not being the case, but until 3 or 4 weeks ago, that seemed to be the impression that he publicly was giving out. And I think that that's understandable, especially in connection to Scientology's fair game and disconnection policies. Even though he's admitted what he's done, he hasn't necessarily given a detailed reasoning as to why they went along with the deception for so long. And he doesn't need to. It doesn't add anything to the understanding of his behavior or anything else like that. Again, he's now publicly stated that he and his wife are moving towards a divorce, and I think that that's the best thing for people to do when, after trying for many years, they realize that nothing will work to save their marriage And there's no sense living a lie or living in a situation where everyone's unhappy. But when people are caught in lies or admit to telling lies, that could damage their credibility. Honestly, I think that Aaron has done a pretty good job of being truthful in what he's been saying. He talked for over 2 hours on Down the Rabbit Hole and was fairly open there and admitted to a lot of faults and cleared up some things. And he also brought up certain things like some drug use that hadn't been talked about before, that he didn't necessarily need to bring up and doesn't necessarily make him look better, but it does, in my mind, make him look truthful when he brings up things that he doesn't need to, just to create a fuller picture of the situation. It's clear that Aaron is still bitter about what he sees as the treatment by former friends on the Aftermath Foundation. I don't entirely agree with his interpretation or reaction to them. For instance, he stated perhaps more than once, although I've watched some of his videos multiple times just to get a better background for my videos, so maybe he's only said it once. But when he finally communicated with Mark Headley after the Los Angeles incident, Mark said that being contacted with the video of Aaron's altercation with the crazy woman ruined his birthday weekend. Mark's birthday week, and Aaron seemed really annoyed at Mark's reaction because obviously and understandably, Aaron's weekend was also ruined. And maybe this could have been a topic of another poll, but my perspective on this is that as far as we know, Mark is happily married with his wife. He's not doing anything wrong. He sometimes goes out of town to work on projects for his business. If he had a weekend set aside to relax and enjoy his birthday with his wife and his kids and perhaps other loved ones and friends, and then he and Claire are bombarded with messages from this woman and having to deal with other messages that they may be receiving from people out in the community that have received those messages, and they have to deal with the Aftermath Foundation board issues brought up by this bad behavior, or at least from the incident, if you want to remove any blame from Aaron in Los Angeles. But also realizing that this seems to be the pinnacle of a series of escalating problematic incidents with Aaron, involving drinking in most cases and drug use in some, and tangentially connected to his secret separation from his wife, I can understand being irritated towards Aaron from Mark's point of view. This isn't a case where Amy Scobie was in a traffic accident that wasn't her fault on the way to church and contacted Mark and Claire and told them that she wouldn't be able to attend the next board meeting, and then Mark gets all upset that Amy's message ruined his birthday weekend. Do you see the difference? Now, while I think many viewers would agree with me that Aaron has self-admittedly listed a series of problematic incidents, which seem to escalated to poorer and poorer decisions being made, as I see it, really the only lie that he's told is about the status of his married and home life. Again, I think that people can understand why somebody might lie about that. But when you're caught in one lie, people sometimes worry about whether you're lying about other things. But in my mind, at this point, I don't think that Aaron is showing a pattern of escalated untruths. Certainly, you may not agree with his interpretations of other board members' reactions to him, but I think that he's generally been truthful about most things that I've seen. That might be a question for a future poll. What do you guys think? Do you think that it's acceptable for Aaron to lie about the status of his marriage? And do you think that besides that, which might be understandable in most people's minds, have you seen any other clear examples of an intentional and deliberate untruth from him? Anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments section. I hope by now, if you haven't already, that you'll hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate it. And if you find my videos thought-provoking, even if you don't agree with me, I'd love it if you hit the like button on them also. I'm going to end now. I really do sincerely appreciate everyone's feedback and support that they've given me over the years, but especially in the last couple weeks as my channel has really started to take off. Have a great weekend and look for new videos almost every day. Thanks so much.